Vice President and 2024 flag bearer of the ruling New Patriotic Party NPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has come under serious criticism by the National Democratic Congress, which has described him as a beneficiary of sole sourcing contracts under the Akufo-Addo government. According to the NDC, Dr. Bawumia, who preached against sole sourcing prior to the 2016 general elections, contract and accused the then Mahama government of engaging in such act as practicing worse. Speaking at the party's Moment of Truth series this afternoon, the National Communications Officer of the NDC, Sammy Gyamfi, argued that the governing NPP has abused the process and awarded billions of contracts, including the $52.25 million rehabilitation of Sunyani Airport in 2019 to sole sourcing.
As it is often said, time reveals the true intentions of a man. Time has once again exposed the dishonesty and duplicity of Alhaji Bawumia, the chronic liar. And we shall demonstrate this to you with incontrovertible evidence. We shall demonstrate to you today, ladies and gentlemen, how Bawumia never meant a single thing he said against sole sourcing while in opposition, and how he and his family have become the biggest beneficiaries of dubious and overpriced sole source contracts under this corrupt, nation-wrecking NPP government. It will interest you to know, ladies and gentlemen, that contrary to his holier-than-thou rhetorics on the subject of sole sourcing in government procurement while in opposition, Bawumia today is the biggest promoter and beneficiary of sole sourcing. As we speak, sole sourcing has become the norm and the most preferred method of procurement for several dubious contracts awarded to relatives and cronies of the Vice President Alhaji Bawumia. A number of sleazy and overpriced sole source contracts have been awarded to a company called Resource Assets Limited, a company owned and run by Bawumia's blood brother called Abraham Bawumia and his wife Kaminska Bawumia. For emphasis, the name of the company is Resource Assets Limited, and it is owned by Bawumia's direct brother called Abraham Bawumia and his wife. So it is owned by the Bawumias.
Sammy Gyamfi further indicated that the Vice President is one of the key architects of the ongoing state capture.
It is also clear from the foregoing facts that Bawumia is one of the key architects of the ongoing state capture and corruption that is destroying our nation. He is neck deep in a rampant corruption and nepotism that has engulfed this nation-wrecking NPP government. He cannot therefore be trusted to fight the canker of corruption, as he is himself an integral part of the free-for-all grabbing of state resources and the unprecedented state capture we are currently witnessing. It therefore goes without saying that a vote for Alhaji Bawumia is a vote to cover up the corrupt deeds of these nation-wrecking NPP Ejapadia thieves and shield wrongdoers, including Bawumia himself and his corrupt mentor Akufo-Addo, from accountability. Bawumia cannot simply fight corruption. On the contrary, a vote for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is a vote for change, a change that will ensure genuine accountability and justice. As you may be aware, ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has promised that when elected, he will confront the canker of corruption head-on by ensuring that the sword of accountability cuts both ways. He has promised to hold members of this corrupt Akufo-Addo Bawumia NPP government accountable for all their corrupt acts. So fellow countrymen and women, you can be rest assured that under the next NDC Mahama government, these sleazy, illegal, and inflated sole source contracts will be investigated and the Japadian thieves prosecuted. More importantly, stolen funds will be retrieved for the state for development, and all those found culpable shall be dealt with in accordance with law.
National Communications Officer of the NDC, Sammy Gyamfi. Let's speak to government spokesperson on governance and infrastructure, Dankwa. Good evening to you. Very grateful for your time once again on 505.
Thank you very much and a very good evening. It's actually the government spokesperson on governance and security, not
security. Okay, grateful for that correction, Palgrave. I'm sure you've listened to excerpts of what Sammy Gyamfi said. He says the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia government preaching virtue, practicing vice. You spoke about soul sourcing against it and promised it was never going to happen under your government. Prior to the 2016 election, NPP comes into office. You set up a whole ministry for procurement, yet soul sourcing is the order of the day among family and friends. Why?
I'm surprised that the NDC have decided to spend all their useful time to attack the candidature of Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the incoming president of the Republic of Ghana. I'm surprised as well because the NDC doesn't seem to profess any solution for this country. The Ghanaian people are very much aware of all their tactics, especially in electioneering year. They spew a lot of mis and disinformation, spew a lot of lies, and try to discredit people's character and personalities. And so I'm surprised that the NDC is always at this work of theirs. There is no merit to any of the allegations that Sammy Gyamfi is bringing across board. If there are merits to it, he should bring the evidence thereof. We are a very focused government. We are working very hard to be able to alleviate the plight of the Ghanaian people. The President and Dankwa Akufo-Addo established high-level policies that all of them have been implemented. Every single project that has been done in this country, there is none that you can even credit as sole sourcing. We open for tender. International and local bidders bid for that. And if the people are competent, we set up transactional advisors. Those transactional advisors go through the processes. And sometimes people just get what they are bidding for. And so I don't want to waste our time and the precious time of Ghanaian people discussing the misguided comments from the NDC.
Palgrave, if I listen to you carefully, did you say that no contract under this government has been sole sourced or single sourced?
None that I'm aware of, unless you bring my memory to it.
Okay, so let's talk about the most recent one, the SML deal, the GRA SML that we had KPMG write a report and the president had to come in. It was sole sourced, wasn't it?
I don't think so. I don't think so. One of the things that I agree on with the SML bill was that the president asked for KPMG to have a look into the contract that was given to SML. And you must recall that SML was already a company that was already doing things in this country. It was not open for bidding for people to come. Sometimes contracts are given to specific private individuals because of their particular uniqueness of what they are able to deliver. But that is sole sourcing
or single source. It's not competitive bidding. If you're giving to a particular company because, like you say, of their uniqueness, is single or sole source, is not competitive bidding.
I don't think that is the name we'll refer to it.
So how will you refer to it then?
We'll refer to it as contract that is being given to particular individual companies that have specific identities and specific deliverables that is of interest to the Ghanaian people.
Okay. So aside from that, the ambulance spare parts deal that, again, the OSP is investigating was also sole sourced.
Why would you want to talk about a matter that is under investigation? I don't know why you would want to talk about a matter that is under investigation.
Okay. So, again, the National Cathedral, the design by Sir David Ajayi, was also sole source or single source.
No, you need to look at the documents again. I'm aware that all the architects in this country, the association, were put together to be able to also work together with David Ajayi. You should check the record now.
They were put together or they all bidded for it? Which is which?
They were put together as an association. They were put together. And there were various aspects of the building of the cathedral as well that were awarded to them.
Okay. So as far as you are concerned, again, these contracts are not sole source, but are given to people who have, again, specific or unique qualities to deliver. So you can't say it's sole source.
Very much so, madam.
Okay. So again, you say that there are a lot of misinformation, disinformation, and lies in the press conference that was addressed by the NDC, and you are not surprised about it. So again, aside from the single or sole sourcing, or maybe giving the contract to unique people, what other misinformation was there?
Oh, we don't pay particular attention to the NDC when they speak. They've not come to the table with a lot of seriousness in a lot of their deliverables that they put to bear. They castigate, they cast insinuations, and they put out a lot of falsehoods that does not hold matter. If you say that Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the flag bearer of the new patriotic party, is involved in state capture, what do you mean? What evidence is there? They will clearly want to attack the candidate and the integrity of the flag bearer of the new patriotic party. And I don't think that we need to sit down for that to happen. There is no evidence whatsoever that has ever come against our flag bearer, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. They have a lot of cobwebs in their cupboard. But because we are a focused government, we do not want to derail the Ghanaian people on the agenda that we are putting across as a government, and even as a future government for this country. And so clearly, all of these are misinformation and disinformation, and causing an unnecessary fear and panic.
So are you planning, or is the Dr. Bawumia team planning to hold a counter press conference? Because if the integrity of your candidate is being attacked, you'd have to respond and clear him, won't you?
At the moment, I'm not too sure what the decision would be. You called me immediately for me to respond to this, and so I'm responding from my angle as the spokesperson on governance and security. The flag bearer has a leadership team. My very good friend Dennis Miracles is the communications director. He's instructed, I'm sure that he will be able to come to bed. But I'm speaking from a government angle, and that's the government of President Anadodanko Akufo-Addo and the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
This misinformation, would it have any effect on the candidature of Dr. Bawumia or the governance?
I have realized that in every electioneering year, major political parties like the NDC spew out a lot of lies, and because some people are gullible and some people do not have the time to be able to verify, they pick up these lies and consider that as truth. And there are many examples that we can put to bear. In recent times, this Ejapa booklet that is going around, purported from the NDC, started in 2017 with a 13-page. Now it's about 38 pages. And they keep adding on and copying on. And if you do a particular reference and cross-check, you realize that most of the things that are stated are online portal publications. So clearly, you could see that the misinformation and disinformation is key in an electioneering year in a country where development is ongoing. And so we must be able to combat that.
How do you combat that?
Well, we hold the conversations like we're doing, and we discredit the NDC, and we discredit the opponent, and we bring bare facts that does not correspond to what they are stating.
Well, Palgrave, very grateful that you joined us. Palgrave Dankwa is government spokesperson on governance and security. Let's stay a while longer on this NDC press conference that just went by some few hours ago. We'll try and get a reaction from the NDC on what or the concerns Palgrave has raised, the fact that the party has decided to diss and misinform Ghanaians about what Dr. Bawumia did or didn't do, the fact that the NDC has decided to attack the integrity of the NPP's 2024 flag bearer, all in the bid to confuse the electorate or the voters so they will vote for John Dramani Mahama. Elikem Kotoko is a deputy national organizer of the NDC. He joins us on the line. Good evening to you, Mr. Kotoko. Grateful for your time tonight on 505.
Good evening, Valentina. Good to hear from you.
I hope you're doing well.
I'm well. I could be better, though.
Okay. We all can be better. But the NPP is taking strong exception to the description of Dr. Bawumia by the NDC's Moment of Truth presser this afternoon. Palgrave Wachidankwa, government spokesperson on governance and security, says the NDC sought out to misinform, lie and disinform Ghanaians because it's some few months to elections. You just want to taint the integrity of Dr. Bawumia by these, in his own words, lies you've put across.
The first thing to do is to let you know that if those were the words of Palgrave, then Palgrave's credibility as a governance expert is already in tatters and probably non-existent.
Oh, how?
Secondly, as a young person, I expect him to be able to speak to the fact. If he says we are lying, he should prove contrary what we are saying.
But he says he who alleges must prove. So the proof lies with you.
That has been done with you, the media. So even if he has said something like that, then you should put him to strict proof by showing him the evidence which the communications officer adduced during the press conference. He showed even payment vouchers and all of that, which added to the value of the fact that the company in question, MS Resource Assets, is owned by Abraham Bawumia, the blood brother of the vice president, he and his wife. And these people were awarded 5 different contracts to the tune of 218 million Ghana cedis. There are a lot of Ghanaian contractors out there who have executed their contracts even 5 years, 4 years ago. They have not been paid a dime. Some have lost their lives. Some are receiving medical treatment, etc. But because this person is related to the vice president, they have been paid outright, and the auditor's report has equally also indicted them, stating clearly, contracts that were awarded have been inflated thrice the price. So what is Palgrave talking about if he has to address a matter of this nature? At best, it will be in his own interest to say he has no knowledge and is not competent enough to comment on it. But to want to rather make it look like the NDC is deliberately churning out lies, you, the media, were there. We gave you all the evidence. They constructed, they didn't even construct a new airport, rehabilitation of the Sunyani airport. How much did it cost? 58 million. And if you go look at the shoddy work that has been done, even anybody who is not expert, even a media person could be awarded that contract, and they could do it and do it to perfection much better than what he has actually done. So why are they not disputing the fact that the president, the vice president's brother, has been awarded a contract? Not only is it that the very people who said they were going to stop sole sourcing are now the ones issuing sole source contracts left and right.
He says there's no sole source contract under the government, but what has been done is giving contracts to individuals or companies with unique abilities and skills to deliver.
Valentina, when you interview people and they put such things to you, I think you should allow them to indict your intelligence by letting them get away with such statements. What unique skill will someone require to build the apron of an airport, to build the tarmac, or to renovate a facility over there? What is the year experience this resource access has gotten, for which reason they were awarded this? And that is not the only contract. There were other Cocoa Road initiative for CRIP 1 and CRIP 2. All these programs were largely awarded to them, while there were other competent contractors who could execute these things to perfection and much better. They have been even paid immediately upon execution of this contract. So I would want to plead with you as a media person and a journalist, an intelligent one for that matter, that when they put out some of these things, you should be able to prove them wrong, that they cannot indict your intelligence on programs when you question them and they tell you that it is because they have some unique skill. Which unique skill?
They have the unique skills to deliver, and those are put together. So you are giving contracts to individuals like that, and not so.
Let us not allow them to make mockery of governance. Let them not insult our intelligence. whilst they plunder this country. We are struggling. There are still a lot of schools under trees. People cannot afford 3 square meals. People are in hospitals. Renal units was shut down for months because of 4 million. People cannot even afford drugs. I'm sorry, but to even say on your program, how much does a sanitary pad cost now that our younger sisters who are in their period are unable to even afford that?
Depending on the brand, 20 cedis, 22
millions, and the Auditor General has made us to understand these have been inflated twice the actual amount.
So again, beyond the press conference to expose these documents and contracts and all that, what does the NDC intend to do?
A few steps that will be taken very soon will be made known by the National Communications Officer, and as when it is due for any such actions to be done also, you in the media will be duly notified as well, because we will not allow such matters to lay just like that. If we have to demonstrate, we will begin to do it, and it is not going to be just a day's demonstration. It will be continuous until government listens that some of these things cannot be tolerated by the masses any longer.
Alec, I'm very grateful that you joined us. That's the